And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're going to take a look at a game from Victory Point Games called Trieste. Now, when I first got this game, I looked at it and I opened it up and went through it, and the first thing I noticed was that these cards had copper and silver and gold cards in them, and I said, what is this? A deck building ripoff of Dominion? Then I realized that it was a 3-player exactly sort of game. Can't play with 2, you have to play with 3, no more, no less. So, I didn't know. But my friend Z Garcia convinced me that it was certainly one we needed to try out as quickly as possible because he had heard things about it. So we did. What did we think? Here you go. The game is for 3 players exactly, so each player has their exact deck that they have. You have the City Watch, and their cards are blue. You have the Merchant Guild, and their cards have this green sort of background. And then you have the Thieves Guild, and their cards have a red background. There's also a middle deck here. This deck is made up of different value cards. There's coppers, silvers, gold, and there's 1 diamond in the whole deck. Actually, technically it's not in a deck since I'm holding it in my hand, but whatever. Now, all these cards can be shuffled into that deck. Each player is going to get a couple coppers to start the game, and they also will draw a handful of cards. Now, the way each round of the game works is each player is going to choose a card to play face down in front of themselves. Then those cards are going to be revealed. The City Watch's card happens first, then the Merchant's, then the Thief's card goes off last. Now you can play a copper card face down if you want to, which lets you draw a card from the top of the deck here, money deck. You can also play a silver card face down, which lets you draw 2 cards. I should mention before you play any of this, and I should have mentioned this, I apologize, you will draw 2 cards. You can draw them from this deck, or 1 from each deck. It's up to you when it's your turn. If you play any other card in front of you, you have to pay the costs of that card. So for example here, the patrol officer costs 1, so I need to pay a copper for that. While the politician costs 2 plus, and it costs 1 more for each revealed tax. So if someone's played a tax, this card would cost more. If you don't have the money to play a specific card, then you're not able to play that card at that point in time. Cards that you play are discarded, although at the end of your turn you can spend money to take a discarded character back into your hand. Now, the whole goal of this game is the fact that there's 3 goals of the game. Each player has a very specific victory condition card. So, many of the patrol's cards allow them to capture a thief card. If he captures 7 or more thieves, he wins the game. The thief has these infamy cards here. If they manage to get a thief character to their action to happen. So let's say, for example, the Saboteur. And he says, look at the top card of the City Watch deck and put 1 of them on the bottom of the deck, draw 1 thief card. That's an easy thing to do. If it successfully completes, he gets to take 1 infamy card for each level. This is a level 1 character, so he'd get 1 of these. There's 9 infamy cards. If he gets all those, he wins the game. The Merchant's card, basically, he just needs 11 money in his hand, plus the value of the level of all the thieves who are currently in prison, because the merchants are the ones paying to keep the prisons open. So, at the beginning of the game, obviously, if you have 11, you'd win, which is impossible to get on the first turn, but as time goes by, you're trying to get more and more money. So there's 3 very different goals. Let's take a look at some of the cards in the decks. Alright, so here's some of the cards from the patrols. Like, there are many of them. Most of the cards, actually, are about capturing thieves. This captures a level 1 lower thief that's revealed this turn. So if that's played, and the thief character has revealed a level 1 or lower card, you've captured them, and they don't even get to take theirs off, because the patrol always goes first. And this also lets you draw a treasure card when it happens. Here you can name a thief card. All copies of that card that are in discard pile or put into the discard pile are captured. Bloodhounds lets you capture a level 2 or less thief. This lets you pull a card right out of their hand. Of course, it costs more to play this card. Operation Fox Hunt. This is the thief shows all the cards. You can steal 1 thief card from your hand. Costs 4, but you'll finally figure out at least what the fox says. And then there's income tax. This annoys the merchants where they have to give cards to you, or security tags. So there's different cards, and there's also cards that let you search your deck for more. And that's basically what is in the patrol deck. Now, in the thief's deck, there's a lot of cards that basically are going to hurt the different players. All you got to do is successfully do whatever it does. Remember to get one more goal to winning. So here the street urchin can make the merchant reveal card and hopefully steal a treasure card from them. Con artist here, again stealing from the merchant. The thieves don't like the merchants very much. Here you can look at the top two and put one in any order. Veteran pickpocket, again targeting the merchant. The Foxtail Gang, I guess what they say is that they're going to take out the merchants. You know, they have to discard 2 cards from their hand. Jailbreak to get someone out is very expensive, but you might be able to pull someone out of prison. So there's lots of different cards that they have, many of them targeting the merchant. Then we have the merchants themselves, and most of their cards are simply about getting money. Draw 2 treasure cards and discard one of them. Draw 3 treasure cards. Draw 4, then give 1 to each of the other 2 players. Look at the top 3 cards of the deck. Put them back in any order. This protects you from the thieves. So this rest of turn level 1 or lower thieves don't affect you. They negate them. So there's lots of different cards that the merchant has, but most of them have to do with converting things into money. Now I need to mention one more thing here. Each player has 3 hero cards. This is for the advanced version of the game. You can start with one of these hero cards face down next to your deck, and you can flip it up and use it. For example, this one, when you reveal this hero, return a captured thief card to your hand. And then the merchant discards cards equal to the level of the character returned this way, gain an infamy. That's a very powerful card. And you have 3 of these powerful cards to pick from. The merchant also has 3 cards. This person, if you have exactly 7 or 11 cards in your hand, you draw 1 treasure card or 2 merchant cards. And then there's also Heroes of the City Watch. For example, this guy here, when he captures a thief character, if that thief is the same level as another captured thief, draw treasure cards equal to that thief's level and 1 City Watch card. So they're all different cards, and this kind of adds some more because you don't know which of the 3 cards your opponent has chosen. I am flabbergasted with how interesting this game was. It's very cool. The fact is, it's not a deck builder because you're adding cards to your hand, but you're not discarding your hand at the end of each round. So you're, as the merchant, you're trying to build up a giant hand. As a thief, you don't want to have a huge hand because you don't want the City Watch cherry picking thieves out of it, and at the same time, you and the City Watch are playing like this cat and mouse game. I'm going to play a thief this turn, and hopefully he's not going to capture one, but I'm going to make him think I'm playing the thief. So that if he tries to capture one, there's no one there. And meanwhile, the merchant's like this third player here who's thinking, okay, the City Watch is taxing me. The thieves are trying to steal my money. The City Watch is sitting here, not really at odds with the Merchant Guild, but they don't want them to have money. They would prefer them not to keep money so they can win. It's just neat how each person has a distinct set of goals. Also, I highly recommend playing with the heroes. I think it adds a lot to the game. Now, the game has something about if the decks run out. I don't think that ever happens. The gameplay is very quick. We're talking 20 minutes usually, especially once you know what you're doing. And it's just really a kind of a bluffing game as you look around. There's certainly luck of the draw because there's certainly really good cards in each deck. And occasionally one character will get a better card and that just might give them that edge. But I think the game is quick enough that that's not a big deal. I like the art on the cards a lot. Not as big of a fan of the design, that just this faded tan all over the table because, I mean, I guess they needed the same color for the cards, but it just would have been nicer to have been a bit more splashy. Maybe it's supposed to be more thematic. This is Victory Point Games. Their quality is not always the best, although it's gotten better as time goes by. But the cards are decent quality, and they have rounded corners. Thank you. And the box is, a slide box, and there's no suit in this one, which is nice. But you know what? I keep thinking about what a cool idea. What a neat thing. Victory Point Games keeps coming out with these cool ideas, these interesting things that we're not seeing some of the other companies do. And so I like this one. I recommend it. I mean, you're going to need 3 players, and so that may be a thing. It's nothing like Dominion. It's its own game, and it's fun to play all the factions, although I prefer the merchants because I like lots of money. And, it's something that makes me, that's different than real life, lots of money. But I mean, it's a cool thing, and I think it's that different victory conditions mixed with this really cool 3-way balance, mixed with a fast play, makes this one a winner. Certainly one you want to check out, Trieste.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool Stuff, in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com. Shut the door!